The girl by the bench night was cold and cruel, on the corner of a busy street in Los Angeles. Just outside a coffee shop that had long since closed, a girl sat alone on a wooden bench. Her jacket was too thin, her hands were shaking, and her eyes, large and tired, stared out at nothing. People passed by. Some glanced, most didn't. They were too busy, too afraid, or maybe just too numb to care. Her name was Lily. She was 22. And just 3 weeks ago, she had a job, a small studio apartment, and a best friend who she thought she could trust. Then one day she came home to find her things outside, the door locked and her name taken off the lease. Her so-called friend had betrayed her, replaced her, and moved on without a single word. Since then, Lily had been trying to survive, sleeping wherever she could, sometimes in shelters, sometimes in alleys, sometimes in parks, always alone. That night, she hadn't eaten in over a day. Her stomach hurt, but more than that, her heart did. She looked at the people walking past, all dressed nicely, holding warm cups, laughing, talking. She felt invisible, like a ghost moving through a world that no longer saw her. But then, shadow stopped. A man stood in front of her. He didn't walk past. He didn't look away. He looked right at her. His face was kind, his voice gentle. "You okay?" he asked. Lily blinked. She didn't answer right away. People didn't usually ask that question. Not anymore. "I'm fine," she whispered. Even though she'd absent, the man didn't move. "You look cold." She didn't know what to say. Her throat tightened. It had been so long since someone said anything kind to her. Too long. "I don't have any money," she said quickly, assuming he thought she was asking for help. But the man smiled softly. "I'm not asking for anything," he said. "I just wanted to make sure you're all right." Bent down a little to meet her eyes. "Do you have somewhere to go tonight?" Lily looked away. Shame filled her chest. "I'll be fine," he nodded slowly. "My name's Keanu." Her head snapped back. Her eyes narrowed in disbelief. "Keanu Reeves?" she asked. He nodded again, but humbly, like it wasn't important. "Just Keanu." Lily blinked again, this time tears threatening to fall. "Why are you talking to me?" she asked. He paused, then sat down next to her on the cold bench. "Because you matter." Those 3 words cracked something inside her. Nobody had said that to her in a long time. They sat in silence for a moment. She told him her name. Told him a little of what happened. Not everything. Just enough. Enough to feel a little less alone. Keanu listened without interrupting. He didn't offer empty words. He didn't try to fix it. Just listened. And then he stood up and said something she would never forget. "Come with me. You're not sleeping here tonight." She stared at him, confused. "What?" He reached into his pocket, pulled out his car keys, and held them out. "I have a place. It's warm. It's safe. And it's empty most of the time. I want you to have it for a while." Lily froze. "Are you serious? Dead serious?" "But you don't even know me." Keanu smiled. "Sometimes it doesn't matter. Sometimes doing the right thing means trusting your heart, not your history." She looked at the keys, then back at him, then at the street. It felt like a dream, a trap, a joke. But none of that was in his eyes. There was only kindness there, and patience. She took the keys. Her hands trembled. Keanu drove her there himself. It was a quiet drive. Lily was overwhelmed, nervous, confused, but also hopeful. For the first time in weeks, she felt like maybe, just maybe, things could change. The mansion was beautiful. Not showy or cold. It felt like a home. Every part of it was filled with warmth, not gold. There were books and photos and a fireplace already glowing when they stepped in. "This is yours for now," he said. "No pressure, no questions. Stay as long as you need. There's food in the kitchen, extra clothes upstairs, and a clean bed with soft pillows." Lily couldn't speak. Her lips trembled. Her eyes burned. "Thank you," she finally whispered. Voice cracking, Keanu just smiled and nodded. "Get some rest." And then he left her alone. That night, for the first time in weeks, Lily slept in a real bed. Her tears soaked the pillow. But this time, they weren't just tears of pain. They were tears of release, of relief, of unexpected kindness in a world that had been so hard. But what she didn't know was that this night was just the beginning. Because what started as a kind gesture would soon turn into something much bigger. People would talk, judgments would come, and soon the world would watch as one girl's struggle collided with the spotlight. And Keanu Reeves would once again remind everyone what it means to be truly human. Whispers and judgment, morning light crept in slowly through the wide windows, brushing Lily's cheeks with soft warmth. For a moment, she forgot where she was. The soft mattress under her back, the clean scent of the sheets, the quiet hum of a peaceful home. It all felt like a dream. But when she sat up and looked around, she remembered she wasn't on a bench. She wasn't in a shelter. She was in a mansion. And not just any mansion, Keanu Reeves' mansion. Lily pulled the blanket tighter around her shoulders and sat still for a long time. It didn't feel real. Maybe she would wake up again and be back outside. Maybe someone would come in and tell her it was all a mistake. Her heart ached with doubt. She wasn't used to good things lasting, but then she heard a soft knock on the door. "Hey," came a gentle voice. "I brought breakfast." Lily opened the door slowly. There he was, Keanu, holding a tray with eggs, toast, fruit, and tea. Simple, thoughtful. "You didn't have to," she whispered. "I know," he said, "but I wanted to." She took the tray, still unsure how to meet his kindness. "Thank you." He smiled and turned to leave. "I'll be around if you need anything." Lily sat down and ate slowly. A bite felt like healing. And when she was done, she wandered through the house. She found a library filled with books, a cozy room with instruments, a small garden out back where the sunlight touched every leaf with grace. Keanu wasn't there most of the day. She guessed he had work, and she was glad for that. It gave her space to breathe, to think, to cry. But the peace didn't last long. 2 days later, Lily's life changed again. She stepped outside to get some fresh air, and that's when it happened, Paparazzi camera flashed at first. She didn't even notice. She thought it was just someone walking by. But the next morning, Keanu showed her something on his phone, an article. The headline read, "Mystery Woman Spotted at Keanu Reeves' Home Romance or Rescue." Beneath it was a blurry photo of her on the porch, wrapped in his odd. Her heart dropped. "I'm sorry," she whispered, her voice shaking. "I didn't mean for this to happen. I'll leave." Shouldn't have. Keanu raised a hand gently. "Stop," he said. "This isn't your fault. But the media, they don't control us, and you don't have to run." Lily stared at him. There was no anger in his voice, only calm, only care, but the world wasn't as kind. More articles followed. More photos. People online began making assumptions. Some said she was using him. Others called her a fake leech, a gold digger. Strangers dug into her past, trying to find flaws, dirt, anything that could explain why Keanu Reeves would let someone like her into his home. Lily stopped reading the comments after the first day, but she couldn't stop the pain. "Maybe I should go," she said one night, standing by the garden. Keanu looked up from where he was watering the plants. "Why?" "Because I don't want to ruin your life." He set the watering can down. "You're not ruining anything," he said. "Needed help. I helped. That's it." She looked away, but the world doesn't see it that way. He stepped closer. Then, "Let them talk." She met his eyes. They were firm, kind, unshaken. "I don't regret helping you," he continued. "And I won't stop just because some people don't understand kindness." Lily felt tears rise again. "Why are you like this?" she asked. "Why do you care so much?" Keanu smiled softly. "Because I've been there," he said. "I've known pain. I've known silence. I've seen people hurt and ignored just because they didn't fit someone else's idea of worth. I promised myself, if I ever had the chance to be a light, I would be. Lily broke down, not because she was weak, but because someone finally saw her as worth saving after that night. She stayed, but things got harder. Strangers started following her when she left the house. A woman at the grocery store whispered behind her back. A man pointed his phone at her and laughed, calling her a charity case. Lily tried to ignore it, but it wore her down. Little by little, the world's judgment pushed against her heart like waves against a fragile boat. And then came the reporter. He showed up one morning at the front gate, bold and smiling. Lily said through the intercom, "We just want to hear your side of the story. The world is curious. People want to know who you are." Keanu was with her when it happened. "Don't answer," he said gently. But Lily looked at the camera, and for the first time, she wanted to speak. "I'm no one special," she said. "I lost everything. And someone showed me kindness when no one else would. That's all." The reporter asked more questions. She didn't answer them, but her words. Those few, honest words went viral. People began to listen. Some criticized, but others felt something deeper. Empathy, because everyone, at some point, feels broken. Everyone knows the weight of being judged, and Lily's truth, simple and raw, struck a chord in millions. Keanu watched it unfold with quiet grace. He never spoke publicly about her. He didn't need to. His actions spoke louder than any press release. But for Lily, the storm was just beginning, because behind the scenes, someone from her past had been watching, and they were about to reappear in the most unexpected way. The shadow from her past world had seen Lily now. Some stood with her, some mocked her, and some remembered her. The video of her soft voice and quiet strength had gone far. News shows, blogs, and social media flooded with opinions. Some called her brave. Others still clung to their doubt. But in a small city 100 miles away, a man sat watching her face on the screen, frozen, his fingers tightening around a half-empty glass. His name was Ryan. He wasn't just anyone from Lily's past. He was the reason she had lost her home, and now he was back. Meanwhile, back in Los Angeles, Lily tried to adjust to her new life. Keanu had returned to filming, giving her space, but always checking in. Every evening, he'd call or text to ask how her day went. He never treated her like a burden, never made her feel like she owed him anything. He simply cared, and that made all the difference. One afternoon, Lily sat in the garden, reading a book she found in the library. Her phone buzzed with a message. It was from an unknown number. She opened it without thinking. The words chilled her. "You don't deserve this. You never did. I'm coming." Her hands trembled. Her heart began to pound. She didn't need to guess who it was. Ryan, he was her ex-boyfriend. The one who had shared that apartment. The one who manipulated her, controlled her, made her question her worth every single day. He never hit her, but sometimes the bruises left by words last longer than the ones left by fists after they broke up. He had cut her off completely, and he told the landlord lies that left her homeless. And now, years later, he was watching her from the shadows again. Lily dropped the phone. Keanu came home just minutes later. He saw her pale face, way her hands clutched the edge of the chair, and he knew something was wrong. "What happened?" he asked gently. Lily showed him the message. Keanu didn't speak right away. He picked up the phone, read the message again, and then looked at her. "You're safe here," he said calmly. "I'll make sure of it, but what if he comes? We'll deal with it, together." Lily felt something tighten in her chest, fear mixed with safety. She had never had someone stand with her like this before. Keanu called a private security service the same night. The house would be watched quietly, with no chaos, no loud guards. Lily didn't want attention, and he respected that. Still, the fear lingered. 3 days passed, then 4, and on the 5th day, Ryan showed up. It happened in the middle of the afternoon. Lily was walking back from a corner store, just a few blocks away from the mansion. She wore sunglasses and kept her head low, trying to stay unnoticed. But the moment she turned the corner, she saw him, Ryan, leaning against a lamppost like he belonged there. His smile twisted. It's the same old smirk that used to make her feel small. "Hey, stranger," he said. Lily stopped.
Ow.
Her breath caught. "What do you want?" she asked quietly. He stepped closer. "You're really living the dream." "Huh. Hollywood mansion. Famous boyfriend. Cute." "He's not my boyfriend." "Sure he's not." He chuckled. "You always were good at playing the victim." Lily's fists clenched. "Leave me alone." "You think you're safe?" he whispered, stepping close enough for her to smell the alcohol on his breath. "You think this little fairy tale will last? You don't belong in his world. You belong with me." "You never loved me," she said. He laughed. "Love's not the word I'd use." Lily turned and ran. She didn't stop until she reached the house. The moment she got inside, she broke down. Tears streamed down her face. Her knees gave out, and she sat on the floor. Shaking, Keanu found her there minutes later. She told him everything. He didn't interrupt, didn't rush. When she was done, he stood, calm but firm. "We're going to the police." "They won't care," Lily whispered. "They never cared before." "They'll care this time," he said, "because I'll be standing right beside you." The next day, they filed a report. Keanu spoke clearly, respectfully, and with quiet power. The officers listened. They nodded. For the first time, Lily saw them take her seriously. Maybe it was because of who stood beside her. Maybe it was the fear in her voice. Or maybe they finally saw her. Either way, a restraining order was filed, security tightened, and Ryan. He disappeared, but the damage was done. Lily couldn't sleep. She kept the lights on at night. She double-checked the locks, Keanu noticed. Of course, one evening, he sat with her in the living room. The fireplace crackled softly. Outside, the world moved on, but inside, she felt stuck. "How do I stop being afraid?" she asked. He thought for a long time before answering. "You don't stop feeling afraid," he said. "You just learn to keep going anyway." "But what if he comes back?" "Then you face him. Not alone, not with fear, but with strength you didn't know you had." She looked at him. "Do you really think I have that?" "I know you do," he said. She smiled for the first time that day. The next few weeks were quiet. Lily started painting again. She had stopped years ago. But now, with space to breathe and room to create, the colors came back. She painted on canvases in the garden, sometimes barefoot, sometimes humming softly. Keanu would watch from a distance, always respectful, always proud, and slowly. Her story began to shift. Not because the media changed, not because the world grew kinder, but because Lily started believing in herself. Again, she still remembered the bench. She still remembered the cold. But now, she had something else to do. A reason to keep going. And someone who saw her. Not as broken, but as brave. But just as life started to find balance again. Something happened that neither of them saw coming. A letter arrived in the mail. Not from Ryan, not from a fan, but from someone Lily hadn't seen in 12 years. Her mother, and it would change everything. The letter from Home envelope was plain. No return address, no stamps from faraway places. Just her name, Lily James, written in a familiar, trembling hand. She stared at it for a long time.
What?
Her fingers hovered above the paper. What? Her heart beat loud in her ears. When she finally opened it, her hands were cold. The letter inside was short. "Dear Lily, I saw you on TV. I know I don't deserve your time. But if there's a way to talk, even just once, please, love, Mom." Lily sat in silence for a long time. She hadn't seen her mother since she was 10. After the divorce, things got worse. Her mother had turned cold, angry, tired. Some nights, she disappeared for days. Other nights, she shouted until the walls shook. And when Lily finally ran away to live with her father, no one stopped her now. After more than a decade of silence, her mother wanted to talk. Keanu was sitting on the back patio when Lily joined him. She held the letter in her hand. "Can I ask you something?" she said, of course. Do people really change? He looked at her carefully. Sometimes, he said, if they want it badly enough. But how do you know it's real? He paused. You don't, he said gently. You just listen to your gut. Lily nodded, her thoughts swirling. Do you want to see her? He asked. Lily hesitated. I don't know. And that was the truth. Part of her wanted to scream, to throw the letter away, to forget the past and move forward with her new life. But another part, the little girl inside her, just wanted to be held by her mother again. 2 days passed before she made the call. It rang twice. Then a soft, shaky voice answered, Hello? Lily's mouth went dry. It's me, she said. There was silence on the other end. Then a breath. Lily. Oh my God. Her mother broke down. Lily sat frozen. She didn't know what to say. I'm so sorry, her mother cried. I was so lost. I was sick. I was angry. I didn't know how to love anyone, not even myself. But when I saw you on the screen, I saw the woman you became. And I cried for everything I missed. Lily swallowed hard. Why now? 'Cause I had to, her mother whispered. 'Cause if I don't try now, I'll never forgive myself. Lily said nothing for a while. Then she asked, Can we meet? They met at a small park by the beach. Keanu offered to drive her, but Lily said she needed to do it alone. Her mother was waiting on a bench, older now, thinner, eyes red and tired. When she saw Lily, she stood slowly. You look so much like your father, she said. Lily didn't smile. You look different. Sat in awkward silence at first. Seagulls called above. The waves rolled in and out. I hurt you, her mother said. I know that. Lily nodded. You did. I wasn't a mother, she whispered. I was just someone running from her own pain. I waited for you to come back, Lily said, but you never did. I know. I needed you. No. They both stared at the sea. Then her mother said something Lily didn't expect. Can I get to know you again? Lily didn't answer right away. Her heart was raw. But she didn't walk away. And sometimes, that's the first step. Over the next few weeks, they talked more coffee, walks, slow conversations. Her mother didn't try to erase the past. She didn't ask for forgiveness right away. She just showed up, and Lily noticed. Healing wasn't fast, but it was possible meanwhile. The media buzzed around Lily slowly shifted. After her video went viral and she began painting again, an art gallery reached out. They had seen her work online, simple, raw pieces filled with emotion and color. Offered to display them in a small weekend showing. Lily didn't believe it at first. You think people would want to see my stuff? She asked Keanu one night. He smiled. They already do. She hesitated. But I'm not. An artist. He leaned forward. You are. You just forgot for a while. So she said yes. The gallery night came fast. Lily wore a simple black dress. Nothing. Fancy, just something soft and clean. When she walked into the small room filled with strangers, her hands shook. Her paintings were hanging on white walls, each with a small card showing her name. She stood near the back, unsure what to do, but then someone approached her. A woman, maybe 30, with bright eyes and a tired smile. Did you paint these? Lily nodded. They're beautiful, the woman said. They made me feel something. Lily didn't know how to respond. Another woman came forward. I read your story, she said. I was homeless once too. Seeing you here tonight gives me hope. More people came, more words of kindness. For the first time in a long time, Lily wasn't invisible. She wasn't judged. She was seen. And celebrated, Keanu arrived quietly. He stood in the back, watching her with proud eyes. He didn't try to take credit, didn't try to step into her spotlight. He just clapped when everyone else did. At the end of the night, as Lily packed up her things, she walked over to him. You okay? Yes, she nodded. I feel light, Keanu smiled. Good. They stepped outside into the cool night. She looked up at the stars. I don't know where this is going, she said. But for the first time, I'm not afraid. Keanu looked at her and said something soft. "You've come a long way." Lily took a deep breath. "I had help." They walked in silence for a while, but deep inside, something had shifted. Not just for Lily, but for everyone who had ever been told they didn't belong, but far away. Back in a dark corner of her past, Ryan had not disappeared forever, and this time, he wasn't coming alone. The trap in the Lithe Gallery show changed Lily's life. Offers began to come in, not just for her art, but for interviews, podcasts, appearances. She didn't want fame. She never chased it. But something about her story, the scars, the strength, the quiet, grace-touched people in ways she never expected, and through it all, Keanu stayed the same. He never took the spotlight. He never tried to shape her journey. He just stayed beside her, like a lighthouse, quiet, steady there. One morning, Lily sat at the kitchen table, sipping tea and sketching on a notepad.
Oh.
The sun painted golden lines across the floor. For once her heart felt calm. Her phone buzzed. New message from an unknown number again, but this time it wasn't a threat. "I want to make things right. Meet me just once. No tricks. I owe you that much. Signed, Ryan." She stared at the words for a long time. "Don't go," Keanu said softly when she told him. They sat by the fireplace, the flames dancing gently behind them. "He doesn't deserve a second chance," Keanu added. "Not after what he did." "No," Lily whispered. "But maybe I need to see him. Not for him. For me." Keanu looked at her. "You sure?" "No," she said honestly. "But I don't want to keep carrying his shadow." He nodded slowly. "I'll come with you." "No," she said. "I need to do this on my own." But he didn't argue. He just touched her hand. "Call me the second you're done." They met at a public cafe in the middle of the day. Plenty of people around.
Right.
No dark corners. No hidden places when Lily walked in. Ryan was already there. He looked different, older, tired. But the same smug eyes still lived behind his forced smile. "You look good," he said. Lily sat down without answering. "So what do you want?" she asked. Ryan leaned back. "I just thought maybe we could talk. Maybe find some closure." She stared at him. "You lied to the landlord? You left me on the street. And now that I'm in the news, now you want closure?" "I was angry," he said. "Jealous. Stupid. But people change." Lily narrowed her eyes. "Have you?" He paused, then smiled. "Let's just say, I'm working on it." The words felt empty. Lily stood. "We're done here." She turned to leave. Ryan grabbed her wrist. His voice dropped. "You think you're better than me now? Just because you got lucky?" Lily yanked her arm away. "No," she said. "I'm not better than you. I just survived what you did to me." She walked out the door without looking back. But that wasn't the end. The next morning, a video surfaced online. A shaky recording taken at the cafe. It showed Lily standing up, Ryan grabbing her wrist and her pulling away. The caption was twisted. Is Keanu Reeves, mystery girl, hiding something? Tense fight with ex caught on camera. The internet exploded again. Talk shows speculated. Tabloids wrote lies. People began picking sides. Against some defended her, but others tore her apart. She's trouble. She's faking it. Why was she even meeting her ex? Lily felt sick. She shut off her phone, curled up in bed, tried to disappear. Keanu sat with her on the floor. "They don't know you," he said, "but they talk like they do."
Me?
Stayed silent for a while. Then he said, "Do you want to leave the city for a while?" "What? Just disappear? Breathe? Reset?" She thought about it, then nodded. They left that night. Not on a private jet, not to a 5-star hotel. Just a small cabin near the coast, far from flashing lights and cruel screens. The cabin had no internet, no cameras, just trees and wind and ocean. Keanu made tea. Lily painted on the porch. They didn't talk much that first day. He didn't need to. Sometimes healing speaks in silence. On the third night, Lily stood by the water. The stars above were endless. Keanu walked over and handed her a blanket. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded. "Do you ever wonder why people are so quick to hate?" He sighed. "Maybe because it's easier than understanding." She looked at him and you. "Why do you keep standing by me when it would be easier to walk away?" Keanu smiled gently. "Because you remind me that the world still has light in it." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "You saved me." "No," he said. "You saved yourself. I just opened the door." She leaned her head on his shoulder. They stood like that for a long time. Not lovers, not heroes, just two people, broken, healing. Human. A week later, they returned to the city, stronger, quieter, ready. Lily reopened her art page, but this time, she didn't post explanations. She posted truth, paintings of fear, paintings of grace, paintings of survival. One of her paintings showed a bench, a girl sitting alone, and behind her, a quiet figure holding out a key. No face, just light. The post went viral again. But this time, the world listened differently. They weren't just watching a story. They were watching a rise Keanu. Watch the comments flow in with a soft smile. He didn't say much. He never needed to. His kindness was never for attention, it was for her, and now she was beginning to shine on her own. But just as the light returned fully, a sudden knock came at the door. Lily opened it. A man in a suit stood outside. "Miss James," he said, "you've been served." He handed her a letter, a lawsuit filed by Ryan claiming emotional damage, and just like that, the storm returned. But this time, Lily wasn't the girl on the bench anymore. She was ready to fight. The courtroom and the canvas letter trembled in her hands. Ryan versus Lily Jamashi was suing her for defamation, emotional stress, and worst of all, public embarrassment. He claimed she used her story to destroy his life. He wanted money, attention, maybe revenge. For a moment, Lily felt the old panic return. The fear, the shame, the weight of being pulled back into the shadows. Just when she had found her light, but she didn't fall this time. She stood. Still tall, strong, and she called Keanu. They met with a lawyer. The next day, an older woman named Janet, who wore thick glasses and spoke with calm power. "He has no case," Janet said after reading the documents. "But people like him don't care about winning. They care about attention. And if he gets even a little, he'll feel powerful again." Lily sat back in her chair. "So what do I do?" Janet leaned forward. "You show up. You speak the truth. You let him know you're not afraid anymore." Keanu stayed silent, sitting beside her, but his presence said everything. The court date came fast. Paparazzi filled the sidewalks. Reporters shouted questions. Flashes blinded, but Lily walked forward, head up, heart steady. The courtroom was cold. Ryan sat across from her, dressed too well, smug smile in place. He waved at the cameras before sitting down, but Lily didn't look away. She took her seat beside Janet. The judge entered. The room hushed. Testimonies began. Ryan spoke first. His words were polished. Fake. He painted himself as the victim. Lily used her past pain to twist public opinion. Said he lost his job because of her lies. Said he was just trying to heal. Lily listened quietly. Then it was her turn. She stood, walked to the stand, and faced the room. "I didn't ask for any of this," she said. "I never wanted to be a public figure. I was just trying to survive. I told my truth. That's all." She told the story of the cold bench, of the message on her phone, of the grip of her wrist, of the healing, of the light. She didn't cry. Her voice didn't shake. And when she was done, the room was silent. Even Ryan stopped smiling. Outside, the media waited. Keanu offered to walk her past them, but Lily said, "I'll walk alone." She stepped out of the courthouse, cameras flashing, reporters calling, and for the first time, she didn't flinch. A week later, the judge dismissed the case. No merit, no evidence. No more shadows. Ryan disappeared again, this time without headlines. And Lily, she didn't just survive, she soared. Her next gallery show was titled The Bench. Centerpiece was a life-size painting, a lonely figure on a bench, cold, tired, and behind her. A man not with fame or fortune, but with kindness. A hand stretched out, no. Words just light. The crowd stood in silence before it. Many cried. Some whispered. One woman turned to her daughter and said, "That's what love looks like." Keanu stood. In the back, as always, unseen by most. But Lily found him in the crowd. She walked toward him, not as a girl looking for rescue, but as a woman standing in her own power. "Thank you," she said. He shook his head. "No," he said, "thank you." She smiled. "You gave me the key," he smiled back. "You opened the door." A year later, Lily opened her own art center. For women in crisis, a place to rest, to create, she called it. Second Light. Keanu gave the first donation quietly, never asked for credit, but his name was carved into a bench near the garden beneath it, small words etched into the wood, for those who stay when it's easier to walk away. And Lily, she never slept on. A bench again, but she visited one often, not in shame, not in pain, but in memory of who she had been, who she had become. Because sometimes, a key can change everything.